morning, Panthers. It's Friday and we have a 4-day weekend.
Don't forget, we technically have 2 days next week, 1 full day and 2 half days. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
We were looking for a place to send Terry for today's science fact of the day. We sent him to the moon to camp for the weekend. We sent him to Mars to learn how to grow carrots. I think we sent him to the circus once. Well, we have a 4-day weekend. We figured we could send him wherever we wanted to. So we put a map of the world, threw a dart at it, and hit Australia. So that's where we sent him. Let's go there now.
Thanks, Kumar and Camilla. Panthers, I am here in Australia, where in 1770 Great Britain decided to send prisoners here and make it into a prison colony. Before that, the native Australians, or Aborigines, were the only people here. They spoke languages that can't be roughly classified into approximately 250 language groups. They have unique animals not found here anywhere else, such as the platypus, the koala, and the kangaroo. They are also home to a unique instrument used by the Aborigines for years, the boomerang. Boomerangs are unique because when you throw them correctly, they return to you. Want to know how this happens? Check out this video.
Humans have been using boomerangs for at least 20,000 years. The ancient Polish used them to hunt animals, King Tut had a collection of them, and of course they're an Australian icon. There are lots of different kinds of boomerangs, and many of them, like the ones used for hunting, aren't meant to return. They just fly very precisely. And even the boomerangs that are designed to come back to you are very hard to use, but if you do it right, you can use aerodynamics to get boomerang to land neatly in your hands. It works because you're sending the boomerang spinning off at an angle, but you're also launching it forward, so it ends up with 2 speeds. A rotating speed and a forward speed. When combined with the exact shape of the boomerang, the combination of those 2 types of speeds makes it turn in a circle as it flies. Boomerangs have 2 wings that connect at an angle, and they're each shaped just like an airplane's wings in what's known as an airfoil. They have a rounder, blunter edge called a leading edge and a sharp tapered edge called a trailing edge. And the bottom of the wing is flat while the top is beveled. When air strikes an airfoil, it goes over the leading edge and pushes downwards off the trailing edge, creating a downward force of air. Since every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the downward force of air off the wing pushes that wing in the opposite direction, generating lift. And the faster an airfoil moves through the air, the more lift it gets. Boomerangs only work when they're thrown at an angle with your arm around 20 degrees away from the top of your head. You flick your wrist so it spins through the air like a propeller. So one wing will be at the top of each spin and the other will be at the bottom. When one wing reaches the top of the spin, it's both moving forward and rotating forward. And that means it's going faster and generating more lift than the bottom wing, which is rotating in the opposite direction of the forward movement. This unbalancing of forces, called torque, causes the boomerang to tilt and follow a curved path. These circles can be very large or very tight, depending on how fast the boomerang is traveling and at what angle. Which is why, even if you send it spinning through the air, it takes some skill to get that boomerang to land softly in your hands and not over the fence in your neighbor's yard.
Parkland News. First, students and staff, please make sure you have turned in all your Yankee Candle orders form to your 7th period teachers today.
Don't miss out on the early bird pricing for your book. The current sale ends next Friday. Pick up a form in the halls and turn in your form and money to Miss Coppola in 2003 today.
PPTV crew members, there are still several of you who haven't turned in your Channel 9 field trip forms and money. They are due to Mr. Bergman by Wednesday, November 9th. Get them in today.
Mr. Flanagan will be in all 3 lunches today to talk about basketball tryouts if you have any questions.
Finally, because next week is a weird week, there is not be any activity buses after school. Now let's go to Terry, who is still in Australia.
Panthers, I am still here in Australia, and I'm finding out all kinds of exciting things. For example, did you know that kangaroos hate the game of golf? Evidently, kangaroos have been secretly watching the golfers to leave the greens, and then they sneak up and try to knock the flags down. We have some exclusive footage of this phenomenon. We went down to try and get an interview with the kangaroo, but he sucker punched my cameraman and ran away. Oh well. Here's another edition of Fitbits with Mr. Rodriguez.
Parkland students and staff. Today, we're going to work on the seated fly machine. It's a great machine. It works your chest, center of your chest, front shoulders, arms, triceps, everything. First thing, we go back and we adjust always the weight. Always look to adjust the weight for you. Never get on a machine without looking where it is. It could be harmful to you. You might be using too much or not knowing that it's not heavy enough, and you might do a bad movement, so that's not good. We adjust there. This machine has two knobs, and you can adjust where this is. It can either be closer or further out. I have my set where I feel comfortable, which is not too extended back and not too forward. Hands go accordingly across your chest. You bring it slow and touch. Inhale as you go back, exhale when you lift. Once you do a few, 10, 15 of these, 3 sets of 10, 15, or 20. When you get stronger, you can add more. And later on, you can go halfway just to keep the tension. Then you come back, and then again, halfway just to keep the tension, and then you do it again. This is your basic seated fly machine. See you next time.
Wish these students a happy birthday today.
Well, Panthers, that's all for this week. When you return next week, it will be a new quarter.
Don't forget, next week you are off on Monday and Tuesday, and on Thursday and Friday you leave at 12:30.
Enjoy the 4-day weekend, Panthers. Bye.